Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. We, the comedy readers at Westminster, have a new experience for you. And since all of you don't have programs, let me present the cast in the order of their appearance. You have the Dean, the narcissistic Dean of Ficklebrott Fine Arts Institute. You have Violet Manning, a talented student at Ficklebrott. You have Ruby, an ambitious assistant to the Dean. And then you have what's a strange thing. It's called Voice of a Policeman. And you have the Sheriff of Diddlewat County, who is a very proud Southerner. Okay, we have jokes and excitement, but a little cautionary note, you dear people, you're going to have to use your imagination. Come with us as we read the play, and it was going to be performed, and these people have been working for months and working their rears off on the stage, that they're not members of the Screen Actors Guild, and they were told they could not perform, they could only read. So you've got to use your imaginations as we take you from the Ficklebrott Fine Arts Institute to the cellar at the Institute. And please, dear audience, use your imagination as you witness the dramatic downfall, and then the redemption of the Dean and Ruby, the wicked Ficklebrott leaders. And then share with us the victory of Violet, the virtuous student, and then the triumph of the dashing, dapper, and dim-witted sheriff. Okay, let's move to scene one, which is the fine art of beansmanship. And we'll start off in the office of the dean, the Ficklebrott Fine Art Institute. It's somewhere in Texas. We haven't figured it out yet, but we're working on it. The office is dark with musty mahogany furniture. The door to the office is ajar. A young girl stands there, not knowing whether to look in or to enter, and then the dean speaks.
Well, hello, young lady. Come on in and have a seat at the desk, Ms.
Manning.
She looks and sees that he's on the wrong page. She shows him the right page.
Manning from Alabama.
Oh, yes. They hired me to be the dean of this place. Nobody knows what to do here, so I spend my time looking at student work, from tin cans to baskets to fishnets. And once we got those millions from the Ficklebrott, the whole world knows us. Now, Miss Manning from Alabama, you want to transfer from the clueless state school to Ficklebrott, where you get to know the people you need to know to make it in the art world? And you're all the way from Alabama? Let's see. What have you done? You've worked in wool. That's good. You've worked in wood. That's getting better. You've worked in aluminum. You're getting there. Most of our students work in stone by the time they get here. What kind of marks did you get for those aluminum towers? Oh, you got the Ficklebrott Award, and your piece is now in the library in Montgomery? That's nice.
And I've been on the Today Show, Best Local Artist of the Year.
And you use light and shadows very well. I'm impressed. I see the whole Ficklebrott family thinks highly of you.
Now the dean is going to get up from behind the desk, and he's motioning to Violet to join him, where there are two sculptures of Greek heroines that dominate the space.
Now, Miss Manning, you mind if I call you Vi? What would you say are the outstanding qualities in these pieces? Oh, by the way, the Ficklebrott money got us these pieces. They're here from Crete, and they exist so students can be inspired. Students like you can be inspired. Come over here, Vi. Come over here. Let's look at this art together.
Make your move, Dean.
The dean now stands right in front of Violet, and he gets closer.
You see the chin on that Greek masterpiece? Now think about your own.
Now he touches Violet's chin, and he turns her head to face him.
And when you are enrolled in sculpture here, you will learn that Greek beauty is timeless.
And now he turns Violet's chin in the other direction.
Ooh, what are you doing?
I'm doing what anyone devoted to sculpture does. I'm touching you. And that's how the sculptor learns. That's how the sculptor sees. That's how the sculptor goes from an infant to a Leonardo, to a Michelangelo, to a Bernini. Oh, never mind. You young women are all afraid of everything because of the Me Too movement.
Well, with all respect, you must admit that touching strangers is passé.
Oh, my dear, I'm not passé. Heavens no. I'm not after your body, Vi. I'm after your soul.
Ooh. Why don't we forget about my body and my soul? Let's concentrate on the sculpture.
I want to turn your soul into one that feels art and sees art and makes art.
Well, I go for the art part I'm not so sure about the soul.
Oh, silly child. I'm here to tell you that sculpture is the victory of touching.
And now he touches her, and she retreats from him, and he follows her. She retreats more, and he gets closer.
You are a promising student, Vi, and I want to open your passions to the ancient Greeks. I see a future for you here.
Oh, that's what I'm afraid of.
Don't be silly. There is something about you that's very, very Ficklebrott.
Now he looks at her seductively, and she frowns.
And by the time you leave here, Vi, you will understand the greatest sculptures of all time.
And now she laughs, smiles at him, while shaking her head. No, no, no. And he smiled, and nodding at her, saying, yes, yes, yes. And now he takes her shoulders, and he turns her head from side to side by touching her chin. She laughs and escapes past him by running behind the chair. And now that's the end of scene 1. And we're going to move to scene 2.
Dirty old man.
And you're going to find the fine art of student life. And just to be sure, it's about 10 months later. 10 months. We're going to be now in the cellar of the Ficklebrott Institute. It's a large, dungeon-like room made of cement. One barrel light bulb hangs down from the low ceiling. Ruby sits in the black plastic desk chair as she is waiting for someone. Her feet rest on the wooden bench in front of her. And finally, Violet arrives. She's a little bit baffled, but not daunted. And Ruby speaks.
Oh, you are good, Violet. Welcome to the Ficklebrott delivery cellar. This isn't easy to find. You've made it through the labyrinth. I knew you would because you listened.
She now motions to Violet to sit down.
When I get orders from the dean's office, I listen.
And Ruby gets a small table and stools for the two of them to have coffee. Then she motions to Violet to sit.
Speaking of listening, Vi, you've been at Ficklebrott for almost a year. You're a talented sculptor, you're one of the dean's favorites, and we think we should level with you. We get our materials on the cheap. Some of it may be stolen, some of it may be mislabeled. We get stuff. Some gorgeous, some not so much.
What's the point of this room?
You get the best material for your own sculpture here before it's up for grabs. It's right off the truck. Marble from Italy, granite from Vermont, and sandstone from Germany. Gold and silver for inlays right here. This means a cushy profit, Vi, for Ficklebrott. You may not know it, but a lot of the world thinks the better the material, the better the sculpture. Honey, I've got connections. Dubai, they are white marble crazy. And Abu Dhabi, the same. I place Ficklebrott products everywhere. New money's thirsty for this stuff. Jeff Bezos' new yacht, Ficklebrott. Russian billionaires with yachts in the Mediterranean, Ficklebrott. So here's what you do. You go to the dean's office at night to find out when a shipment's coming in. Then you get yourself down here through the labyrinth. Put your name on the best materials. Our crew will deliver it to your studio. Work up the best sculptures you can imagine.
What?
Hey, get ideas from any artsy magazine. And some of us can get those Ficklebrott sculptures to all the right places. You get it? People are hungry for Ficklebrott.
Let me get this straight. I steal the delivery dates from the dean's office. I steal supplies from the delivery lab, that may be stolen to begin with. Then I steal ideas for sculptures, and you pass it on to Jeff Bezos' yacht? What's the downside? I could be passing crappy alabaster from Romania. You know, connections dry up, and sometimes you get disconnected. Luby, thanks a lot. I'm done. Ficklebrott may be golden right now, but the art world is fickle.
What?
I happen to know that last year, one of the Ficklebrott teachers got slammed for passing a phony Picasso. And there was that antique Stradivarius that was made in China. Sooner or later, someone will discover Ficklebrott is peddling high-class stuff that ain't so high class. Thanks a lot. I get my certificate next month, and then I'm out of here.
You're telling me that after 10 months of grooming you to be in the Ficklebrott business, you're leaving just like that? Listen, Vi, we chose you months ago because you know how to follow orders. You're the dean's favorite because he thinks you can handle the business that keeps Ficklebrott going.
And you're telling me that the pieces I turn out may be from stolen goods? I'm not interested. You sound like a Ficklebrott pimp looking for a son. Guess what? You ain't found one.
Well, you guess what, my fair lady? You don't have a way out. You know about our stolen goods. You know about our outside connections. So there's no way you get your certificate and scoot out of here. You're over your head, Violet, and Ficklebrott has a lot to lose to let you go. You owe us, baby doll. You owe us.
That's the end of scene 2. Now we're going to move on to scene 3, which is called Real Talk. Now, folks, at this point, I want to alert you that room's full of people, so be very, very careful. You're going to hear a police siren. Now, these sirens are in the play. They're not in Westminster, so don't go rushing for the door. Don't be alarmed. The sirens are in the play.
This is an emergency alert for all of the, what's that name? Chicken broth. What is that name of that institute? This is an emergency alert for the Ficklebrott Institute and the immediate neighborhood. All electric and electronic devices are down. Quit staring at your telephone, put it in your pocket, because it ain't gonna work. The cell phone tower is jammed. There's an armed person on the property, and although there have been no shots fired, the person has threatened personnel at the Institute. Your local police are unable to communicate with anyone on the campus. The armed person is, like armed and dangerous. If you see anyone carrying a firearm, for God's sake, stay away from them. Do not approach them. Personnel from Ficklebrott are to remain where they are on the floor. Do not raise your head, it might be blowed off.
And during this speech,
So
the lights are gradually reveal the cellar from the previous scene. The dean is at one end of the room, hiding behind some art materials, and Ruby is hiding at the other end of the cellar, behind some chairs. And again, the dean speaks.
Who's here? Someone is in the cellar beside me. Who is it?
I know your voice, Robbie. Or should I call you Dean now that we're under siege?
Dean and Ruby gradually move toward each other.
And I know your voice, Ruby, and this is not funny. Is there anyone else in here but us?
If you'd shut up for a couple of minutes, we might find out.
I guess no one.
Now you're going to hear that siren again, so remember it's in the play. Don't worry.
Okay, this is a public announcement. There is a person with a gun on the premises of Ficklebrott. She is armed and dangerous. Remain locked in your classroom or office or under cover. Do not, repeat, do not leave the room. Stay down and out of sight. Do not peep out of a window. You might get a bullet between the eyes. Avoid all exterior windows and doors.
Did you hear? They said she. This is some woman with a gun here at Ficklebrott? What's going on?
This is an announcement from your local police. There is a lone gun person armed and within the premises of the institution. Stay where you are and do not, under any circumstances, leave your room. She or they, we are incapable of determining whether it is a he, she, or it. Whatever it is, stay away from it. They're dangerous. We ask that you not worry about the sex of the individual. All people with guns are dangerous.
This is an announcement from the Sheriff of Diddlewat County. I can reassure you that the Ficklebrott Institute is out of danger. The armed lady has turned herself in and into the custody of, well, me, the Sheriff of Diddlewat County. Power will be restored in around 10 minutes. The Ficklebrott campus can now settle down. This concludes the announcement.
All over this messed up country, there are gunmen with wreaking havoc. But when it comes to Ficklebrott, it's gotta be original.
It's not funny. And what woman do you know who could have a breakdown carrying a gun, no less, right here on campus?
Well, my wife and I had a royal battle 2 days ago. Irma is on this side of a nervous breakdown. She's leaving.
Leaving? Leaving where?
Leaving me. Leaving here. I suppose I might as well confide in you, Ruby. It's no secret that I have been indiscreet with women.
That's an understatement, I'll say.
We've been to marriage counselors for months. I've tried therapy, but I can't keep my hands off students who dream about being great artists. They all look like Venus de Milo to me, but with arms and big tits.
Now that I think of it, Dean, I told Violet the other day about the black market suppliers we use.
That doesn't sound smart, but that doesn't sound to me like it would get someone to grab a gun.
Well, I threatened her if she left Ficklebrott.
Jesus, the two people who have the most to gain if Ficklebrott remains clean are you and me. And we're locked in a cellar because of a crazy lady with a gun outside, and we admitted her inside, and we put the school at risk.
Maybe you can make this a teachable moment. What has your therapy taught you about yourself?
Well, look, when a powerful man turns 60, he looks in the mirror and sees the possibilities of gaining more power are gone, cut off. You know, the Germans call it the locked door syndrome. He's not talking about bathrooms. He's talking about being on the back nine. And he's done.
Interesting. You have a great excuse, Dean. You men always have a great excuse. Locked door syndrome. How about locked brain syndrome?
Now, Now, don't be fresh, Ruby. What's your excuse?
I always wanted to be a power broker in the art world. In the art world, the only way you do that is to sell fancy stuff to rich jerks. And to do it on the cheap. I always liked cheating. I started in first grade. But I shouldn't have yelled at Violet, and she was so pissed.
Now Ruby and the dean now sit side by side on the bench. They look straight ahead and they try not to confront each other.
Jesus, do you think the crazy lady with the gun could be Irma?
Well, anything's possible, I don't know. After this situation, I'm ready to rethink what we're doing. We're at the top of our game, and we've got a lot to lose. I don't want Ficklebrott destroyed. I'll get more therapy, and I'll take Irma on a real vacation, and I'll keep my hands off other women. Frankly, the whole flirtation thing isn't what it used to be. Students keep getting younger, and I think in the old days I was hot stuff, but now all they see is an old jerk.
But what if it's Violet with the gun, crazy enough to go after both of us?
I want you to apologize to her big time. Make it clear that Ficklebrott is going straight. She's getting her certificate and an introduction to a big art gallery in America, far from here like New York.
This is an announcement from the Sheriff of Dittawat County. The Ficklebrott Institute is out of danger. The Ficklebrott Institute is out of danger. The armed lady has turned herself in and is under our protection. Power will be restored in, around 10 minutes. The Ficklebrott campus can settle down. This concludes the announcement.
Okay, things are looking up. You talk to Violet, and I'll talk to Irma. Ready?
I'm on it. And I'll get in touch with some honest markets. Toot sweet.
There's one more possibility about the crazy lady with the gun. It could be the playwright. Anybody who thinks of a name like Ficklebrott is probably a little crazy.
True. I do hope things get better with you and Irma, though.
Well, I think they will, Ruby. I'm going to try. You and I have our jobs cut out from us starting now. And as they say in Texas, let's saddle up.
That's the end of scene 3, and we're going to move on to scene 4, which is called Dittawat's Victory. And the sheriff and Violet are going to enter, and the sheriff is going to speak.
Whoa there, fellas. Don't be saddling up so fast. I'm the sheriff of Dittawat County. I've been outside your door listening, and I'm glad to hear your plans to clean up Ficklebrott. There's going to be some heavy fines for dealing with mislabeled materials and stolen goods. Once we figure out how much you owe for ignoring regulations and you pay up, Ficklebrott will be once again one of the jewels in Dittawat County. As you might imagine, we'll be keeping an eye on you, regulation-wise. As you know, Dean, I hope you work things out with Irma. She's a fine lady. And Ruby, you know better than to be cheating people. And as for little Miss Violet here, she sure did disturb the peace, cutting off the power and swinging around that gun that wasn't even loaded. But she did good by bringing Ficklebrott bad record to the sheriff. Since the lady's a mighty fine sculptor and on her way to New York City, we wish her happy trails. I've always said the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Dittawat. And as your sheriff, I know we can close this chapter and see more Ficklebrott bright stars ahead.
And folks, that's all. That's it. That's it. dim-witted sheriff of Diddlewat County, they could help her. Now you have the absent-minded policeman, Timmy Wright. You have the cunningly ambitious Ruby, Catherine Ray. And then you have the can't keep his hands to himself Dean, Fred Morgan. And then there is pistol packing mama, Fern Cava. And now I need to do one more thing, and that's to call up the talented, wizardly playwright and producer of Ficklebrott, Eddie Kittingsburg. He's walking up the aisle. Here's the time.
Thank you all for coming.
Enjoy the wine.
Enjoy the wine. They recorded. That was a good laugh. Filming?
Huh?
Were they filming it?
Guess so.
Waiting for 2 weeks and then physical therapy. Bones heal, it just takes time. He's becoming ambidextrous.
Coming. That was fun.
I'm not a ribbon maker.
right length and seems well plotted. So, you know,
Yeah.